What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Well, a better day than OP in today's first story, that's for sure. To set the scene, she's on holiday with a few friends, and they rack up a pretty massive bill at a bar, over $500. The only issue is that the vast majority of that money has been spent by just 4 people, whereas her and her other 7 friends have spent barely anything. So, when those 4 people who've spent all that money suggest it might be a good idea to split the bill completely evenly, things get a little bit out of hand. Entitled group of friends expect everyone else to split the bill for their drinking binge. And then it gets worse. A group of 12 of us friends decided to go out to dinner while on a golf trip we all took to Scottsdale. When we arrived at the restaurants, they weren't ready for us yet and had us go into the bar. Most of us ordered soda. I ordered a green tea, while 4 of us ordered top shelf drinks. A lot of top shelf drinks. I mean, they were downing drinks like they were water. After about 20 minutes, our table was ready and we asked for our bills. Most of you know exactly where this is going. The waitress comes back with one bill and hands it to one of the drinkers who had asked for a single bill. My first entitled friend looks at the bill for a moment, pulls out his phone, types something, and then says, "Okay, everyone's share comes to $48 plus tip." Everyone else that wasn't drinking just looked at him. Yes, the 4 of them ran up over $550 in drinks in under 20 minutes, and they expected everyone else to pay for it too. My second entitled friend said, "Come on, cough it up." It was just the way he said it. "Yeah, no, I only ordered a green tea. I'm not paying $48 for a green tea," I replied. "Just pay up." Forget it. What was my drink, like $5? My friend who wasn't drinking was emboldened by my response. "Yeah, I only ordered a Sprite. I'm not paying $48 either." This got the others grumbling too. Now the tables turned on the 4, with the other 8 of us refusing to split the tab. Cue the alcohol reducing the inhibitions of one of the 4 to bring out his true self. He turned to me and says, "Cheap ass, you should be paying for everyone's drinks anyway." What are you talking about? "You make more than the rest of us, so you should be paying for everything for everyone every time we go out, including this trip." That phrase, "everything for everyone every time we go out," really burned me when he said it. Why in the world would anyone think someone else should be paying for everything for everyone? Yeah, I did make a good living, but that was about it. The kicker is, one of our friends did make huge bank. Everyone knew about it, and he was even there with us. My second entitled friend, however, had his sights set on me because there were some back jealousies he and his wife had that I won't go into. "Screw you," I say to him. "Having the cheapest person I know," he was, "calling me a cheap ass is just absurd, and I'm not paying $48 for a glass of tea." Now, most of you won't believe this part, which is fine, for it is completely unbelievable. If it didn't happen to me, I wouldn't believe it either. This entitled guy gets his wife on the phone, don't get me started on that tart, puts her on speakerphone, tells her I won't split everyone's drink bill, and she proceeds to tell me off over speakerphone to everyone in earshot. Now, I don't remember exactly everything that she said because it was so ridiculous and I was fuming. I do remember her though parroting about how I should be paying for everything, so they were obviously talking about that sentiment before. Eventually, I dropped this little gem on her. If I wanted a bunch of people to leech off my wallet, I'd have a bunch of kids. This was before I had children, if you were curious. "You two are also the cheapest people I know," followed by a few examples of just how cheap they were and how they took advantage of friends. The entitled guy's wife replied, "Flibbertigibbet." Now, I don't remember exactly what she actually said, but I do remember it being more drivel and entitlement. I did eventually say, "F you," which was totally called for. "Don't you cuss at me." "F, pause, you," I replied. Now, this is another part of the story that most people will not believe, which is fine. But anyway, this wife replied, "Don't cuss at me again or I'm going to hang up." Just imagine the mentality of someone giving this threat in this situation and thinking it would carry any weight. What? Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead and hang up. I didn't call you, and you know what? F you. I looked at my entitled friend, threw down a few bucks on one of the tables, and walked towards the waitress. I was done with that whole scene, and so was everyone else. I've got no idea what further conversation went on back there, but most of the other guys came to the table shortly thereafter, except the drinkers, who I'm sure were trying to figure out how to pay their bill. Now for the aftermath. Yes, we did sit at different tables for dinner. The drinkers got their own table, the rest of us another table. We didn't talk about what happened much, for I think we were all just confused by it all. We did finish our trip, although the dynamics of the foursomes changed, as well as when we got home. The drinkers then kinda hang out by themselves. After that trip, we did go on one final Vegas trip with the whole group. Best parts, my entitled friend got rolled by a pair of hookers to the tune of $700 on the first night there. They cleaned out his wallets, while obviously his wallet was out of his possession. I'm sure you can figure that one out. He changed his flight and went home that night. How embarrassing. Neither that guy or his wife have spoken with anyone in our group for years. The last I heard, he cashed in every dollar of his savings and retirement to buy a bigger and better house and furnish it with everything his wife wanted. They, within a few years, had to sell that house and move in with his parents. No idea if she ever found out what really happened in Vegas. And finally, yes, I did drink that green tea. Yeah, I mean, pure and simple, that is just so rude and ignorant of these four drinkers. Look, splitting the bill is nice and all, but not when everyone is buying completely different things that cost completely different prices. That's just ludicrous. For me personally, it does annoy me when people, nitpick over a bill and say, oh no, my drink was £3, yours was £3.50, my main meal was like £9, yours was a tenner. That sort of stuff does kind of annoy me. Look, I get it, you want to spend what you spend, that's completely fine, but when it's like a couple of pounds or dollars different, it does slightly annoy me because I think it's just a little bit too pedantic. But in this situation, the difference between your bill of $5 and their bill, which would have been what, 125 roughly each? Am I getting that math right? I don't know what it actually was, but I think it was like 500 and something between four people. So what, $130, $135 each between them, and you're just spending $5. That is not a bill you can split. That's just ridiculous, and they should have the decency to, understand that. Now moving on to our second story. New delivery driver refuses to deliver food. I own a restaurant. Recently, we've had a huge uptick in delivery orders, and so I've been hiring delivery drivers for the past month. Saturday was the first day for one of these new hires. We'll call her Jen. 22, blonde, in town for college, seemingly nice girl. 6 p.m. rolls around, she shows up for her shift. She's there maybe 10 minutes when the first delivery order comes in. Steak and 2 veg, plus a salad and a chicken wrap. Food is done, gets boxed up, and put on the counter to be taken for delivery. Jen just stands there, looking at it. So the other driver, we'll call him Ron, picks it up and heads out. While Ron is out, we get another order. 4 deluxe double bacon cheeseburgers, 2 family-sized fries, and 4 2XL milkshakes. Food hits the delivery counter. And again, Jen is just sort of standing there looking at it. At this point, the GM asks her what she's waiting for. I can't deliver that. It's got meat in it. I'll pick up the next vegan meal that comes in. Mind you, a solid 80% of our menu is meat. We've got some salads, some sides, and we do serve Impossible burgers, as well as Impossible meatloaf, but most of the time, those get ordered along with other items that do contain meat. So, the GM calls me and I come up front. He explains all that I just relayed. I confirm with Jen that she refuses to touch any orders with meat in them, and then I just send her home. She won't be on the schedule again. Ron and I handle the deliveries for the rest of the night. Sorry lady, but you can't expect to be paid to just stand by the bar for 5 hours a day. And just to be clear, this post isn't about bashing vegans. I'm talking about the actions of one person who happens to be vegan. The vast majority of vegans I've met are perfectly reasonable people. I even went vegan myself for like 8 months, but I was bad at it or something because I kept losing too much weight. Yeah, don't worry OP, it's pretty clear that this post has nothing to do with anti-vegan hate or any sort of stuff like that. It's just about bashing this one person in particular. I mean, seriously, you're doing a delivery job. I don't even think you have to touch the food, do you? Is it that bad if you're a vegan and you touch, like a package that has meat in it? Surely not, right? You're not touching the actual meat there. You're touching the, cardboard package or the bag that you're delivering. And also, refusing to deliver food because it contains meat is okay, but not when you're doing a delivery job that is at a place that serves 80% meat and you haven't told them that prior to working there. That's not okay. That's just completely stupid. Sorry. And now moving on to our final entitled parent story of today's episode. You can call managers to counter-complain. In line at Costco gas. The lines are nuts because gas prices are nuts and Costco gas is cheap and convenient. Everyone is on edge. The Costco gas employees have to periodically sweep the lanes and clean up spilled gas. Just like at the registers, when they close a line, they stop people from lining up in that lane. They finish the people currently in the queue and direct other customers into different lanes so they can cone off the lane and sweep. I'm pumping gas and I see this go down. A woman drives around the cones and into the lane they are sweeping like she's exempt from the process and is going to get gas. Employee guy just jogs over and tells her in a normal tone, "Sorry mom, this lane is closed for the moment. Can you please pull around into a different line?" She says, "Why?" He says, "This lane is closed." He then sees an empty spot not yet filled in the adjacent lane. "You can go over there," and points. She starts screeching, "You don't have to talk to me that way. I don't appreciate it." Screech, screech, screech. A guy then gets out of the passenger seats. The employee guy is babbling and pointing at cones, the empty lane, the broom. The screeching lady turns then into cursing lady and starts dropping expletives about how he can't treat me like this and effing that. Passenger guy then gives the employee the finger. The employee is looking around because he's in over his head now. The cursing lady starts with the, "Your manager is gonna hear about this. You just lost your job," and then more screeching. They then get in the car and peel out leaving. I finish pumping and go find a place to park. I Google the store phone number and call. I hit the number to speak with the manager. I ask for the manager in charge of the gas station. "Sorry, he's gone for the day. Can I leave a message?" Okay, can I tell you then? Now, I just saw this whole thing go down. In a minute, you're gonna get a call from a lady claiming she was just disrespected by a gas employee and complaining a storm. Let me tell you what actually happened from an objective observer, because no way did this guy do anything wrong, and it's gonna come down to his word versus this crazy lady. Okay, thank you for the heads up. It's nice to hear he was doing the right thing. And, oh, actually, your lady is on the phone with this other manager right here, it sounds like. I'll pass along your message. Thanks for calling. Guys, stand up for injustice. You know what, guys? That's a great message right there. If you ever see any entitled business going on, I want you watching right now, to stand up for somebody who's in that perilous position that we don't want to be in, fighting against an entitled person. In this situation, if OP doesn't get in the mix and get involved and actually call the manager's office, the employee could literally be in some serious danger, right? He could potentially be losing his job here, because in the world we live in, it tends to be that, the customer is always right and all that rubbish. So if it was literally the customer's word against his, he could be theoretically in the mud. And we don't want that, because he doesn't deserve to be in that mud. He deserves to be clean. So well done, OP, for helping him get clean. Good stuff. Take a lesson out of OP's book. End of it. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed. If you did and you want more from me right away, boom. Check out the playlist of all my Entitled Parents videos right there. If you're heading off to sleep and you want to chill, bang. Whack that on, yeah? Don't worry. You don't even need to thank me. Just click it. That's all you need to do is click it and just let it run on repeat. Simple as. Do it, man. Good night.